fantastic night. So I am live on World of Outlaws Dirt Track, World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 24. Now, as you see, it's the 24 game. There hasn't been a new game out in 2 years. So today, I'm gonna go over a few things, and I want everybody's take on this if they did ever do this. So here we are in this game, and in the title of this game, I have it, what if iRacing made a new or slash update World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 26 game? Now, I don't know if it would ever happen since they are now focusing on NASCAR and the new NASCAR game that's out for the newer consoles, but here is my take on this what if. In my opinion, you take away the other stuff that was on this game. So you take away the extra skins that are on this game. You take away Donnie Schatz' Outlaw Challenge. So you remove them completely. Now, other than that, everything else I would say leave the same. But here is one thing that I honestly think that they should do, and I'm honestly going to go to Quick Race and talk about this, and I'm actually going to start in the 305s. As you see, there is a regular 305 sprint car driver in that background in that picture, and I believe I don't know the name, but I know he races where I live in upstate New York. But, if you go into the 305s, you see a lot of drivers that are not really known uh, that come around here and to upstate New York. So I think it would be cool if they ever did it, just to add some regular faces from New York. Alicia Bay, Daryl Ruggles. You have Bobby Perro. You have Ethan Gray. You have um, yeah, Zat Sabak. I almost forgot his name. I'm sorry about that. And then on and so forth in the 305s. And then you go into the street stocks. You know, in my opinion, you remove this body. You remove the box style body from the old game of Tony Stewart's All American Racing. In my opinion, you bring in like the new style of street stocks. So, you could see like a Ford look, you could see like a Chevy look, you could, those type of street stocks that you see on actual the iRacing game where you can run those type of looks. Another thing I honestly think that they should do if they ever did a new one is add more drivers. I mean, the only one that I really know out of this whole entire group is Ken Schrader. I don't know anybody else from this group. I never heard of these guys. So that's kind of where I'm thinking in my head that it would be kind of cool if they added more real life drivers, but also, change this up where it's not the box style look that you're seeing here. It's more of a actual look from a street stock standard. And then you go into the pro late models. There is a lot of drivers that race on this game, but another thing I think would be kind of cool is, again, a couple of other local drivers like Chad Holman. You have a lot of other good drivers that, run in the series, and I think it would be kind of cool to see that. And then you go into the Summit Modified Nationals. I love the driver roster lineup on there, but I've seen a lot of people say that they should have added more drivers to that series. Another thing they should do is add more drivers to the 360 series. Again, there's a lot of local drivers that race here in the Northeast. You have Chucky Hebing, you have the Cobra's daughter that now races. Chucky Hebing's daughter races now in this series. You have a lot of other good drivers that run in this series across the board in the Northeast, and you really don't got a lot of choices in that effect. And now when we go into these two series, add real life drivers to these two series. iRacing, and that's my opinion on that. I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to say the same thing. Add more drivers to these series. It's not that difficult not to add more drivers to this series. Even in my opinion, add Braxton Bush to the Micro Series. He's already being fitted to race a Micro Series sprint. Add Braxton Bush to this series. You know what I mean? You know, uh, Rest in Paradise, Kyle Busch. Add Kyle Busch to a couple of these series. Even add, Kyle Larson, add Christopher Bell. But I know for a fact that that's going to be hard because now you got to deal with the NASCAR licensing. But iRacing, now since you have full control of the NASCAR game, I wouldn't see there would be not a problem to bring NASCAR drivers over to a new World of Outlaw game if you did something with the World of Outlaws. Now, another thing I'm going to mention here is the Super Dirt Car Series. You have a lot of good talent in the Super Dirt Car Series. We all know these modifieds. I know a lot of people don't run them, but you have a lot of good guys that are now in the series altogether. You have Justin Harris that's in the series full time. You have someone like at one point you had Eric Rudolph, but Eric Rudolph's no longer running it. You have someone like Alex Yanikowski who's now leading the point lead in the Super Dirt Car Series. So you have a lot of drivers to add to the Super Dirt Car Series, and that would be kind of cool to see. So, in my opinion, if iRacing did a new game, add more drivers to these series. Local Northeast drivers should be added to the series that you do not have them in. So, again, that goes back to the 305s. You have the Ruggles, you have Bobby Perro, you have Ethan Gray, you have Zach Sabaka. You have a lot of good drivers that are in that 305 series that's not part of this game. Another thing I think that you really need to do is fix the sound. If you guys made a new game? So, fix the sound with the modifieds. Make these cars faster than they normally are on this game, and kind of make it more realistic, not so arcadey. And another thing is you need to work on the lag issues because there's a lot of lag that goes on with some of these tracks. So that is one thing that I'm going to put away from the driver standards. But another thing I'm going to mention here, and I'm just going to go to Money Matt Williamson here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the official tracks. We got Bristol, we got Cedar Lake, we got Charlotte, the Chili Bowl, Eldora, Fairbury, Huset's, I-55, Kern, Knoxville, Kokomo, Las Vegas, Lernerville, Limaland, Lincoln, Lucas Oil, Millbridge, Oswego, Port Royal, Texas, Volusia, Wheatsport, Williams Grove, and that is it. Now, here is where I am going to say this, and I've been saying this since the first game came out. Get rid of some of these damn fantasy tracks, iRacing, if you ever make an update or a new World of Outlaw game. Get rid of Arrowwood. It's a shithole track, in my opinion. I am not a fan of this track. This track is just pretty much a dirt oval of ISM or Phoenix Raceway, whatever you want to call it now. And then if you look at other tracks, Circle Lake does not fit the circuit on any of this. This track reminds me of Shadywood from the going back to Tony Stewart's All American Racing. Just a different name. High banked. It is definitely not a mid bank track. It is a high bank track that is a pain in the ass, and you cannot run it for the life of drivers. Please get rid of this track. Another track that needs a couple of other tracks that need to go. Elm Creek. It needs to say bye-bye. I'm sorry. This goes to a lot of drivers, and a lot of drivers that I know that I am not going to name names for in this, but this track needs to hit the road because if you race online, this track is a shit show for people that run in leagues. I have seen people get screwed out of wins that in leagues that I have been in. So what if iRacing made a new game? Elm Creek needs to replace with an official track. Other tracks that I think, in my opinion, that need to go, I-84. A lot of people bitch about I-84. There's no banking at I-84. Other tracks that I think that need to hit the road is Prairie View. It's not a good fit. It's not a good feel. I don't like this layout. I don't like this track. It's too high banked. It's not made for any of these cars on this game. Rockberry definitely absolutely needs to go. I've been saying that since the SRX days. Rockberry is the dirt track of Indianapolis. You have long straightaways and you have long turns going into 1, 2, 3, and 4. Roper Mountain's a fun little racetrack. Sawtooth needs to hit the road. Sterling County really needs to hit the road, and Willow Creek absolutely needs to hit the road. A lot of tracks, ladies and gentlemen, need to go off this. Or, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, get rid of all the fantasy tracks and put real official tracks on here. You got the Land of Legends Raceway in New York to possibly scan in. You have Fulton, Brewerton, Albany, Saratoga. You have Can-Am. You have Cornwall. You have a lot of good tracks in north of the border. You have a lot of good tracks down south. You have a lot of good tracks out west. Add more tracks, official tracks, not these bogus fantasy tracks that a lot of drivers suffer on a weekly basis running in a league or running just for fun. I've seen a lot of people bitch about drivers' perspectives on a lot of these tracks, and they don't fit for this game, especially Elm Creek. And Elm Creek, and I've been saying it since the first game came out, Elm Creek should not, ladies and gentlemen, Elm Creek should not, and I repeat myself, should not be part of this game. It should have never been a part of this game, and it is just, all it is just one big fucking shit show. That's all it is. It's just one big fucking shit show. So that's my take on Elm Creek. But again, what if iRacing made a new game? Stick with the official tracks. Put more official tracks on there. Add more drivers to these series. Update the sounds. Make these cars go faster, especially in the lower class, which is the street stocks. The 305s, the 360s seem like they're not that fast. So get the sounds right and do a lot of other stuff. And one other thing I really want to mention before I get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. And I'm actually going to add this to the factors too. Is another thing I think that should be a factor is, more paint schemes in the paint booth. You can have free run on what you want to do in the paint booth. And also, like, wheel coverings. A lot of drivers run different wheel coverings because the colors match the car. I've seen a lot of drivers run a pink wheel covering. I've seen a lot of drivers run a neon green. I've seen a lot of drivers run a blue or a red, regular colors, but I've also seen them run different shades of wheel coverings. So that is another thing. Paint booth really needs to be updated where you have full control of the paint booth, just like on the new NASCAR game. And more real life sponsors. That is another what if to a new or update World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 26 game. Please, for the love of God, do that. Now, another thing, and I know that I'm going to probably get a lot of flack for this, but I'm going to say it anyways. For a new game or a new update, here is my idea to this. And this goes for online only. If, for the love of God, for reasons, iRacing, if there is someone, not going to, again, I know someone that does this, but I'm not going to mention names. I know a few of them. If they crash into someone, do exactly like you do on iRacing, where you can capture the video and we can send it back to you to take care of the problem. So we can report it, or we could, do something that is fitting our style. Another thing is, I think that everybody should have licenses for whatever class you're in. So if people are in like an A class, that is it's an A class lobby only. It's not made for someone that's in a B or a C class or whatever class that is now on the new NASCAR game. And as for other things, at the end of the day, another thing I kind of want to mention is like for the micros and the midgets, I don't think you should have like a short track thing unless it's like official short tracks. So that's one thing I think that would be awesome too, is for the micro sprints and the midgets, put like official short tracks that they go to on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So other than the Chili Bowl and Millbridge and Kern and whatever, you add other short tracks that they actually go to. That would be another cool what if to see. But let me know in this video, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to see, if they ever do make a new game or if they ever did like an update. I'm sure a lot of people are probably going to agree with me. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. But this is just my opinion of what if iRacing made an update or a new World of Outlaws dirt racing game. So again, let me know in the comments in this video. Be courtesy. I don't want to see no fighting, no trolling, no bullshit. Just straight up give me your opinions. I will like your comment if I love it. If not, you'll see other people join in on this frame. But again, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say about this game. It's not a bad game. It's just that there has to be a lot of things that have to change if they make a new World of Outlaw game. And the big thing is add more tracks, do away from the fantasy tracks, and let us have full control of the paint booth. Add more sponsors, and have more real life, feel to the game other than like an arcadey style type of feel to it. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy Spooky Gamer 1993, hollering at you with a small little video of this. And be sure, as always, to join the nation, and I'll check you all later. Peace.